Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your view on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Adam, Neil, Refracted, Chocolate, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to twist one deck's ear in a moment because we've got a chapter that we're going to be doing later on this evening when we start going through the book and making it a bit more tidy. We need a few more examples of all roads leading to a flat Earth. Now, one deck's got a particularly concise list of things that glurfs can't use, as they are flat Earth prerequisites and proofs. So it could be that a lot of the list that we are seeking out is in that list that one deck has, but I don't want to put him on the spot as he's just arrived, so we'll do a bit of housekeeping first. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Well, the astronauts said since they've been up there for 9 months, they're going to have a better understanding of how the gravitational forces have affected them. So in the long run, they're going to have a cure for cancer and ALS just with gravity.
Gravity's not a force.
They did 150 experiments.
Gravity's not a force.
What do you mean?
They did experiments of how something that's not a force affects them by force. Right.
Well, if I gave them a force, it would still only be a force on an inertial plane. So what are they talking about?
Well, you could think of it as one because they thought of it as a force, and it was very forceful on them.
Let's dispense with this. There is no outer space. There is no rescues of people trapped in Narnia for 9 months, right? This is all garbage.
But it was on the telly.
Outer space is fake. There is no area above our head 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum that all of the gas we are breathing at high pressure would have vacated into prior to ever developing gas pressure for us to breathe. The sky is not a vacuum. This alleged area that people in the ISS are claiming to be in is not real.
So where are they then?
It's funny enough, though, the belief in that utilizes a Cartesian plane to describe directions. Yeah.
Whatever do you mean?
It means you'll need a flat Earth to describe this belief.
Oh dear, It's over. Shoot, I was so excited.
What if you just ignore the plane part of that, right? Like, does that check out? That you can just call it a sphere?
Huh?
They do ignore the plane part all the time.
Well, they use it all the time and deny they're using it.
But what if you
and tell us we're stupid for acknowledging it?
But what if they use it and then ignore the fact that they've used it and then tell you you're crazy for asserting that they used what they used?
They do.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what they do.
Chocolate. I just went back to heliocentrism. It's like the Van Allen radiation belts. Yeah. You don't know the Van Allen radiation belts are there. They can't hurt you. You don't know you're using a flat plane.
Yo, that's globe logic. That's globe logic for you right there.
Yeah.
But that's what they do.
Absolutely.
So long as you measure a flat plane and then immediately infer that that's only because it's so big you wouldn't need to measure curve and therefore it's a big ball that you haven't measured. The flat bit's cool though because it's just so big, then you can forget about the fact that you've used a flat plane. The flat plane won't hurt you then.
Yeah, but see, that's Globers. The flat earthers will tell us it's not the ground. So what do you do with that?
That's
what?
disturbing that flat earthers are telling other flat earthers that the flat earth is not the earth.
Yeah, when you break down celestial navigation, how it works, how we measure Earth flat, how we get the mapping systems, the grid system, they say, no, it's not the ground. So you got flat earthers saying, well, not, I don't know if they're real flat earthers, saying it's not the ground. Ballers using the ground and then making like they didn't use the ground, turn into a ball. We're all alone here.
So everybody's talking about the ground, but not the ground. Okay.
You got it.
Ideally, we'll be measuring stuff in the sky that has absolutely no reference to the ground when we measure it. I mean, ideally, we'll never mention the ground ever again when it comes to any measurement ever. If we're a baller, that is.
The sad thing is, if you do that, you have nothing to reference.
Yeah. I mean, in years gone by, again, it's not quite seeing the wood for the trees on our part when people start to argue with us about how they're going to be using angles that are from the vertical. Like, immediately get frustrated with them because it's like, no, we need it to be with respect to the ground because that's what we're navigating. But now we go, okay, so you want to take this navigation process away from the ground that we'll be navigating, do you? No reference to the ground. I see. How useful is that on your ball? It isn't. It's not applied in that way, and we are definitely navigating the ground, but that's what they need to do. Now it's just amusing as opposed to irritating.
But they're not doing that. They're saying we'll take it from the vertical, but the vertical is established with respect to the ground.
Yeah, they're weaseling away from the ground is, unbeknownst to them, intrinsically linked in a perpendicular manner to the ground. But if they just don't say horizontal and only ever derive the angle from the vertical, then what, the axiomatic principle of perpendicular doesn't exist anymore? Well, in their mind, yes, John, that is absolutely the case. It's like if you don't look at the scary lion, it doesn't see you and it won't kill you. The flat plane can't hurt you if you don't acknowledge it.
Well, Rumpus says horizon does not mean horizontal.
That's the spirit.
They don't say that to everyone. They say that to us. If they went somewhere else and didn't bring this topic up and told the surveyor, the horizon's not horizontal, they said, they would be slapped. But because they're in this arena with us, they're cheered by morons.
Exactly.
Next
They
question.
get fired.
Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Funny you should say that, because they're talking about 150 experiments.
Neil,
Tell me
did
more.
they have 150
Stars.
phenomena?
Yeah, name one phenomena that I would imagine that out on the stage claimed to be the ISS in a sky vacuum. There is no naturally occurring phenomena ever to study. Now, so far in the pre-show, you've said that they were studying gravity as a force. No, they weren't. Not for 110 years. But that's what this is for. Who's the ISS for? Is it for us? No. Is it for adults that never grew up? Maybe. Who's it really for, though? It's for the kids, isn't it? What do the kids get taught? Newtonian mass-attracting mass gravity as a force. That's why they're more than happy to sacrilegiously declare the force of gravity out on the ISS. Because it's for kids.
Is man natural, Nathan?
Me, personally,
What?
absolutely not.
Okay, if man is natural, hold on, let me finish right away. Looking to jump in, because I could give you a naturally observed phenomenon that they witness every time a shuttle goes up. 99% of the world, made up of mankind, believe that it's happening. To me, that's a phenomenon.
Okay.
No. Nope. That if man caused people to be in awe, then that's man caused people to be in awe. But like I don't think we should let them have gravity anymore.
No, not unless they want to accept the
Tear it
horizontal
apart.
plane that it would require. I agree.
Well,
Yeah.
when Nathan plays this video, you're going to hear what Tyson has to say about it.
So this is Neil deGrasse Tyson on an Instagram reel. Let's check it out.
The history of religious literature has ever, based on their readings, made an accurate prediction of a testable phenomenon that was not previously known at the time.
When you say testable phenomenon that wasn't previously known, to be a phenomenon, it would first have to be an observed phenomenon, wouldn't it? So when you're suggesting that up until that point it wasn't, repeatable as a phenomena, all you're doing is looking at it.
Time of that literature. If you look at Genesis,
So what? So you're saying what at the time of Genesis being written, phenomena hadn't been through the scientific method, which is not what he said. That's a different case.
which is an account of things, until science made independent discoveries.
So science doesn't make independent discovery. Science is a method that men can establish the cause of naturally occurring phenomena through systematic experimentation based on hypothesis. That's what science is. It doesn't make discoveries. Men vary and manipulate presumed causes to see if they are the cause or not.
Of the account of things, people would use
Accounts? No, science isn't giving accounts of things unless it's the cause of an effect, varied and manipulated and validated through the experimental process of the scientific method.
Genesis as their source of the account of things.
No, you give your just so stories, call them science, and are now poo-pooing the stories of Genesis, which aren't declaring themselves as science in a category error.
Every single case, they got it wrong. Out of Genesis.
Wrong? What was wrong in Genesis? How would you know? You haven't got a time machine.
In the Bible in general, Earth is flat. It's
Yep, absolutely correct. Earth is flat, precisely as measured.
land in the middle, surrounded by water.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that in terms of a generalization, but you could absolutely and accurately describe a landmass in the middle being described as being surrounded by water that's called an island.
Stars are these little things embedded
Wait.
in this circle.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
pause 1 second. So, is he right now stating how the Bible is a flat Earth book?
Yeah,
That's
It
that's
is.
kind of what it sounds like to me.
I mean, it is. I would agree. It doesn't explicitly state it, but it is.
Interesting how he's describing that, because a lot of people in his own mainstream narrative would declare it differently.
I mean, I
Interesting.
don't use it though, so I get it, because you're saying that in a Christian context, you can have two different Christians, one saying the Bible's a flat earth book, here's my citations, and the other Christian saying, no, it isn't. In fact, it's a ball book, here's my
Yeah.
citations. Very limited, that second category, but nonetheless, you do have occasions where people do that. I wouldn't use either. But if someone was to come to me and say, is the Bible talking about a globe earth? Absolutely not. He hangs the earth on nothing. That's a bit weak. Really? That's all you've got? No, there's plenty of flat earth references, and they're all inferred. But as I keep saying, I wouldn't use these as a standard to evidence a flat earth. I might, after the fact, with a Christian, reference them to certain points in the Bible that infer a flat earth. But after demonstrating that that's how we've measured it, prove it first before going to the scriptures.
I would say when God hangs the earth on nothing, that does not mean there is space there in nothing, because space would be something. That's not nothing.
Surface.
What
This is how
about he's above the circle of the earth, looking down upon its inhabitants, and they are like grasshoppers to him. Now couple that with hangeth the earth on nothing, and you have a spinning water ball in the solar system.
everyone universally interpreted the physical universe based on scripture. Science comes along and said, no, that's just false. And over time,
Science doesn't say anything. Science doesn't say there's people out there that interpret the world based on scripture are false. Science doesn't have lips. It's a method to establish cause. Cause of what? Well, effects that you observe to occur in nature, otherwise known as naturally occurring phenomena.
the Bible became less and less used as a science textbook.
All right, who's using the Bible as a science textbook? Now, don't get me wrong, there might be examples in the Bible that show a cause and effect establishment. But it's not a science textbook. What's a science textbook? Unless it's a book containing the validated cause and effect reasoning that has been established through systematic experimentation after formulation of hypothesis, detailed in a book in list format. That would be a science textbook. Now, there's also the older world understanding version when you describe what science is in a textbook, the all-encompassing understanding of something being the science of. But no one's treating the Bible as that. No one's treating the Bible as a science book.
By enlightened religious people, and more used as just a source of spiritual fulfillment. And they're not getting their science out of the
Claimed to be the word of God by Christians.
Bible, because those attempts simply fail. No
one's claiming it's a science book. This is garbage. What a load of nonsense. That was irritating. Go on then, Neil. I thought you'd have loads to say. That was it. That was the full video. Reel, or whatever they call it on Instagram.
Do you think he said enough?
I think he said anything. I think he was just having a jab at Christians who say the Earth's flat.
Yeah, he indicted himself along with the rest of the church that bought into this heliocentric nonsense.
Bought into it. They created it. The Roman Catholic Church are its origins. 68 people watching. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Smash that share button.
No, I'm not talking about the Roman Catholic Church. I'm talking about evangelical Christians that have bought into this and fight it tooth and nail when you just try to show them something in Scripture where they could read it and say, hey, yeah, that is something. He did it. Isaiah did bid the sun to stay still in the sky and not ask the earth to stop rotating. No, they won't even look at it. You're a freaking person who sows discord.
So are you then, again, using Smoking the Grass Tyson as a hostile witness, saying that even this mainstream science communicator says that it's a flat earth book?
Yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm asking them to look for themselves and the stuff
I
that
only
he's
asked that
claiming.
because you say he indicted himself. I'm trying to wonder how he's doing that, because he obviously doesn't believe in the Bible, and he's just pushing his pseudoscience.
Right,
So,
whatever he's pushing.
okay. I don't know. What stood out to me is him blatantly, kind of just flippantly saying, yeah, the Bible's a flat earth book. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah, well, he says that because that's what people are going to latch on to. Look, that stuff is flat. Look, it's a flat earth book. He said it.
Yeah, I now see where you're going. I got you, Neil. Yeah, and why would you trust Neil deGrasse Tyson's interpretation, right or wrong? He's not exactly a bleeding Bible scholar, is he? Go ahead, APOC. Or you just hot mic in?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if he's going to talk about scriptures, well, what about the scripture that says that the day that man can know the heights and the depths of the earth, that he will pull man from Israel? And think about it. Okay, well, yeah, if there's man today saying this is what it is, and they're accurate, and they're right, well, last time I checked, we're all still here. He didn't pull us from it because he knows that we don't know the depths and the heights and the lengths and the widths of this place that he created. That's all I'm saying. So if you go to
interesting
scripture,
a very interesting excerpt from scripture when you consider that not necessarily the overall breadth when understanding the breadth of the world. We do understand the breadth of the world. We're describing it quite consistently at the moment in terms of its linear nature when measured. Now, that's not us describing the extremities or lack thereof as an infinite plane. Some do, we don't. We don't know. But we know of the breadth and what that means to be measured, don't we? It's a subtle difference with the same words. Interesting turn of phrase from scripture, as is always the case.
It's
And,
well, it's
and
not
what I'm talking about,
necessarily.
what I'm
Hold
talking
on,
about
John.
is
Just APOC then, John. Go ahead.
I'm just saying what I'm talking about is Jeremiah 31:37, and specifically, he says that it is what the Lord says. Only if the heavens above can be measured and the foundations of the earth below be searched out with, will I reject all the descendants of Israel because of all they have done. So he hasn't rejected us, bro. So that means we don't know. That's all I'm saying. Like, we don't know this, but they tell us we do, but they're wrong. Even to the scriptures, they're just wrong.
Are you with Israel?
Hold
What
on.
was that? You broke up.
Are you Israel?
Israel in the scriptures always means like the earth, the world. That's why, like also when he says like the oceans, like it always is it's like a allegory to the people. So Israel, in the words when it comes to the scriptures,
This is
he's
so
talking about. What was that? What'd you say?
not the Gentile, Israel.
Yeah, no, he clearly says in Jeremiah 31:37, like, no, this is, according to his word. So I'm just saying, if he wants to point out scriptures, well, then let's point out that scripture. Because the second that man can claim that he knows the heights of the heavens and the depths of the earth, then he will just take us from it. And here we are. We're all here. Israel's still there. It's still standing. Like, there's people
Right,
in
he would take
Israel still
Israel.
living.
Well, smoking the grass Tyson wasn't trying to do that. He was trying to actually debunk it with his notions of science.
Yeah, but
He's
as it also says that claiming that a man's so wise, he became a fool. That's what it comes down to. They're not wise. They don't know. That's why they're fools.
Well, let's just ask the question.
Well,
Is there any?
you could-
Let's just ask the question, Neil. One second. Is there any evidence of a molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nope, not at all.
Not according to scripture.
Exactly.
Well, according to P waves and S waves, the way that they calculate for the density gradient, they'll use the incident angles from a horizontal plane of reference to then calculate what the center of Earth is made of.
Did you all understand what
That's
John
all.
just said to you? Anybody unclear of what John just said?
I don't know. Somebody was off mute. I was getting a bunch of distortion.
Okay. Was anybody unclear with what John just went through? Let's say if I was to call upon you, you could repeat what he just said and the implications thereof. You're all confident that you could repeat what John just said?
Yeah, I heard him.
Let him repeat it. I didn't hear it.
John, can you just go
I'd like to
through
hear it again.
one more time with seismology specifically, what is being used and measured? Go ahead.
The concept of the molten iron core is a creation from the field of seismology, where they use a machine that measures the horizontal plane of reference and the disturbances, but within that horizontal plane of reference in the vertical, to calculate the density gradients of the Earth to what they presuppose to be a molten iron core or self-perpetuating molten iron core.
And to add to that, if you actually look into the way P waves and S waves translate on their equipment, it literally just goes down and up back to a position of horizontal.
Precisely.
So like if you get, yeah, that's all it's doing. That
Yes.
it's not going down to a sphere. Is they travel in arcs that go down below and up back to the surface, and they're
That's the
always
problem. There are
calculated
no down
to
ups.
horizontal
Oh,
position.
Neil. Bloody hellfire. It's the third person in a row you've interrupted in the middle of their statement. Can you stop doing that, please?
Sorry, I'm driving.
Yes.
No worries. I forgive
Absolutely
you.
correct, APOC, even though you're interrupted towards the crescendo.
But when John fucking says,
Now you're doing it to me. Oh my God. Literally within 10 seconds of me asking you not to do it, you're doing it to me. My God. Let's try that again. Hopefully without 5th interruption from Neil. No, Neil, just chill while someone's trying to get to the end of a statement about something. Right, in this case, APOC is explaining how, like John just went through verbally, but he's tied it to the actual instrumentation, which is what John was describing. As you see the sheet of paper coming off a reel, like a fax roll, like on an old fax machine, coming out the seismograph or whatever they call it, the machine the seismologists use with the needle, with the little pen that goes up and down, like on a lie detector. Yeah? The pen's going up and down, measuring those differentials in the vertical. But what's coming out? Well, what you're seeing on the ground is the roll of paper, one long horizontal reference.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's what it's measuring. Earth is a flat plane. That's how it works. Like all measurements of Earth, always, without exception, it is flat. That's how it can only be measured, because that's what it is. John's point was that you then take those flat Earth prerequisite measurements and then infer a molten iron core with them. So it's back to the flat Earth won't hurt you so long as you very quickly scurry your way along to calculations after the flat Earth fact with the measurements that you can then walk past because they won't hurt you if you don't look at them. Right? You've calculated out a molten iron core from the flat Earth measurements. Just don't say that. And in the on the other hand, you mock and ridicule anybody who mentions Earth being flat and talk about how they have got cult-like behaviours and attributes, how they have got some crazy feelings and thoughts on 9/11, how they might be breaking the YouTube terms of service talking about Sandy Hook. Talk about that. How they are in a social group, what they believe in, things like that. Don't ever mention the fact of the measurements, because you as a globe believer will be utilising them pretty soon after that endeavour with the flat earther that you've mocked. Go ahead, Neil.
So you're allowed to say up and down as long as they're doing Earth sonogram.
No, they are not. Globers are not allowed up and down ever. They
Well,
don't
that's
get.
what I was trying to say, but you just cut me off.
Sorry, Neil.
At the end of the day,
they're two
P waves.
words that are on the
sorry,
list.
go ahead.
APOC, then one deck. Go ahead.
Sorry, APOC.
So just real quick, at the end of the day, P waves and S waves are still going to adhere to an XY coordinate system. So like if you look at it like on an old graph calculator, you have it where it goes down and then it arcs downwards and it curves and it pops up back to give them a position, but still back to the X position. So Y, it goes down and then it travels across and then it comes back up. But these morons will try to say, oh, that means a globe. No, it's just representing a real cool, dip and rise according to the X and Y that they're taking their measurements from. It's really simple.
Very, very easy. Go ahead, one deck.
I'll just going over one here. Yeah, up and down is on the list. The 30 words that we have. That's two of the words that we've highlighted that should not be used when trying to curvature, Earth curvature, and how Earth curvature is supposedly measured.
Yeah, I told them.
So it should stop once they said up and down.
They don't get to use it like I told Dave Farina off via the response video to him talking to Lord Jamal. Well, the same thing applies. You don't get to use up and down. You don't get to describe how things fall off a ball dripping when you're not showing a model. Down is only us. We get to use up and down. In and out if you think you're on a surface of a sphere only. Not up and down. You need a horizontal plane of reference to reference perpendicular to it if you're going to describe up and down from it. They don't get to do that. Tangential planes don't give them that.
Exactly. Because once they come back to the position, they're establishing a point that's 90 degrees to the original position. That's how they're calculating it.
Exactly.
But Globers don't understand that.
Exactly. There's axiomatic principles that are flat Earth prerequisites. Perpendicular, up, down, 90. All of these things only work on a flat Earth.
Level.
Go ahead, One Deck.
Yeah, well, I'll just read the 30 words out for you just to go with. I mean, there's more words, but we all decided to stop at 30 because it's a nice number. So it's called 30 words. 30 words not allowed to be used when explaining how Earth curve is measured. Sea level, horizon, horizontal. Parallel, plumb, perpendicular. Elevation, angles, triangles. Sea sextant, theodolite, spirit level. Altitude, vertical, tangent. Straight line, up, down, plane, north, south, east, west, azimuth, altitude, and flat. 30 words, and that's that. You can't use these unless you're explaining flat.
Those are our words. We get to use them. You do not if you're on a ball. It's just that simple. If you want to use them, no worries. You worship at flat Earth. You get on your knees and accept the flat Earth you'll be measuring if you want to use a flat Earth. Simple. I have to change that phraseology. Telling people to get on their knees and worship at the altar of flat Earth isn't really where I want to kind of position it. What I mean is, drop to your knees and accept the flat Earth beneath you. And it's this sort of dropping to your knees is symbolic of being on the ground, the physicalness of it. But it sounds kind of sacrilegious, so I'll have to think of a better phrase.
The truth is, the truth is they've already accepted it. They just have to understand how they've accepted
it. Matrix bleeding references.
That's why
what it is.
That's
though,
why I
right?
can't grasp.
That's what we're saying. They've accepted that they live on a globe. How they've come to that understanding of living on a globe is by accepting flat Earth measurements. Literally what it is.
That's why I can't grasp how they don't understand how perpendicular of a position to one another works. I'm baffled. Like, dude, where's your brain at? Like, stop it.
I think someone.
I think they got away with it for a long time. Describing using Eratosthenes for one, and Al-Biruni, all describing flat Earth elevation angle measurements. We're on it now. We've jumped on it. We've realised what's been happening and these words and what they mean and the descriptions and methods they're using to measure a flat Earth. They also now know a lot of these trolls who maybe we had on yesterday that God, these guys are right, but they either have to change the definition of these words themselves, or they continue to blatantly use angles and elevation angles, thinking they're describing a curve or telling you they're describing a curve, knowing full well that they are actually measuring a flat Earth. That's where we are with it at the moment.
Yeah.
It only took us 10 years.
Yeah, it did take us 10 years, but now when we hear someone say, oh, it's only because it's so big, we don't start getting annoyed that they're not adhering to their rhetoric of describing a ball measurement. We now say, welcome to flat Earth. Yeah, we know you'll have to measure it flat.
Which used to annoy the hell out of me. Because I used to be like, wait a minute, I don't understand how you're telling me you measured curvature while simultaneously telling me it's too big to measure the curvature. Like, again, one of those reasons, like, I kind of stopped going into Discord's hard body like that because I started getting really annoyed, like, what the hell? But now it's like, yeah, you're making my point for me. It's flat. That's why it's too big to measure the curve, because it's flat. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be saying it's too big to measure the curve.
Yeah, and one step beyond that is, so what do we measure? Oh, well, it's so big it's flat. There's only bits that are flat that actually acquire any measurements on the surface. So all the measurements are flat then. Yeah. So what about this flat Earth measurement that is then used to infer sphericity? It's on screen for my audience right now. Well, you need a surface level for it, and you need axiomatic principles like eye level to be parallel with it. If you violate either, this maths fails. So what are we suggesting? Well, we're suggesting, like always, that even to infer sphericity and Earth curve, you will and must measure Earth flat first. It's the only way the maths works. So when you point that out to them, they'll say, oh, well, that's because it's so big. Well, what? So big that you can measure it flat and then infer through calculation sphericity. But what are we measuring? We're measuring it flat.
Exactly. Because they will always, Nathan, they will always pencil whip their conclusion because they had to add this presupposed curvature. But that's not what it is, though. At the end of the day, they pencil whip it.
Wait, you say presupposed. Back in the day, we used to argue the toss about them begging the question and presupposing Earth's sphericity, which is still true to the most extent possible. But that's not where they get their presupposed, in quotes, Earth curve from, or radius value from. They measure Earth flat to get that. It was you, or Warndek, I forget which, mentioned it earlier. They got away with it for so long, talking about Aristophanes and Al-Biruni, and they're measuring Earth flat. We just never spotted it.
Yeah, we kind of did every time we said they were presupposing the ball, right? Because if the ball is presupposed, then what is the Earth?
Automatically a ball.
It's flat.
Yeah,
we were
but
just saying
why-
we were so
why-
focused on their globe and their claims of globe that we were like, you guys are presupposing a globe, instead of actually saying what you're actually doing is measuring it flat.
Yeah. We couldn't
That's
see
why I say
presupposing the globe.
we couldn't see the wood for the trees, and for whatever reason, even the Dumbos. Remember when I went on that Earth Awakenings or whatever it's called, the debate with that guy that claimed to be a captain? And even he was like, at various stages, dumb though he was, capable of saying, oh, it's because Earth's so big. Now, he's not smart enough to recognise that that means he's measuring Earth flat. He's just justifying how the measurement is laid out to him in a globe Earth manner with an apology for the flatness that is prerequisite, required, all the words that we currently use, necessitated.
Makes me laugh as well when they try and jump. Well, we're not actually, like we said before, we're not actually using the surface of Earth, we're using a tangent line. So you'll say, well, is a tangent line curved? Well, no. Well, so you're not using any curvature, then you're using a straight line for the angle then still. Well, yeah. So you're not measuring curvature then? No.
yeah,
I'm using
it's
a bubble
still a
section.
baseline.
Yeah, still a horizontal baseline, nothing to do with curvature. Well, I'm using a bubble sextant. Well, is the bubble sextant curved? Well, no.
Well, what they're saying the tangent is the dip from eye level to surface level, where the sky appears to meet the sea or surface level.
Yep.
So they're calling that depression angle a tangent, and it is actually inaccurate to do so.
Yeah, you can't draw a tangent, which is actually that was really concise, by the way, John. You're getting better every time you do that. A depression angle derived from the parallel eye level and surface level, but the depression angle is from eye level to surface level after you raise an elevation. In the mathematical extrapolation after the fact, it's described, as John just pointed out, as the tangency. But then you've got a line that meets the surface below surface level? That's not possible. It's just a depression angle derived from parallel eye level and surface level. Well put, John.
Can't get away from these angles, can they?
Nope.
You can't get away from them.
No, and the last bastion of the failed argument is to suggest that the surface level, axiomatic to be parallel with eye level, bends. Oh, surface level doesn't mean it's level, that can be bending. No, it has to be parallel with eye level. 100 watching. Woohoo! Please share the show if you've not done so already. There's only 100 people watching because people who are regulars share the show. So please smash that share button if you've not done so already. It only takes 2 clicks to stick it on Bebo or MySpace. I can add Skype to that list soon. Awesome.
And if level is curving, you cannot use it as the adjacent for your tangency point.
Exactly. Violates the axiomatic principle used in the first instance. Can't bend it. Yeah. So it's not that they're screwed or, you know, stymied 6 ways from Sunday. What's actually the case is they automatically must measure Earth flat to move forward in their ball belief. Those are the facts in the matter. That's where to be between a rock and a hard place comes in on flat Earth debate for me in practical application with an opponent. Do you want to deny the measurement of latitude wrapped around your ball, for an example? Well, of course not. I wouldn't deny latitude. It's intrinsic to my ball. How do we measure it? On a flat Earth, it's an elevation angle to Polaris. Oh, right. So we must accept a flat Earth measurement to hold this ball belief. To deny said flat Earth measurement is to deny the rings wrapped around your ball belief. So you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Either you accept Earth and its flat Earth measurements, because they're the base premise for your globe belief, or deny your globe belief because you won't accept the measurements that it's based on, because they're flat. In either event, you're either relinquishing everything or accepting Earth's measured flat. Rock and hard place. Chuck the whole lot in the bin, globe included, or accept Earth's measured flat. Those are your only choices. Go ahead.
Just saying between a rock and a flat place, or more like it.
Yeah. You can accept being on a ball, but it will, if you understand its origins, put you in immediate, permanent cognitive dissonance to continue with that ball belief. The ball belief is based on flat Earth measurements. Once you have a comprehension of that, you cannot move forward in an earnest belief in the ball either, because, as I say, you would be in cognitive dissonance, accepting and understanding the base premise of a flat Earth measurement, and then saying, oh yeah, I accept that the measurement I just was taking flat is actually because the ground's curving. No, you can't hold both positions. They're contradictory. So it's cognitive dissonance or nothing. Now, for me, it's like, well, there's no reason to have the cognitive dissonance and belief in a ball after the fact. I've got the measurements. I don't need anything else. Why would I need to move towards a belief that's based on a violation of the measurements in the first instance? No, I'll keep hold of the axiomatic principle that's been measured, not bend it and violate it. No thanks. I'm good.
Nathan, I posted in Skype one of your shorts where Zanuck is agreeing with us, basically.
Would it be possible to switch it up and use the spherical surface first? Or do we need the flat?
We can use the flat surface. Okay, you say. We can use the spherical surface first. How'd you get an elevation angle from the spherical surface first?
No, you wouldn't. You'd need a flat surface.
Sorry, you wouldn't. That's right. Now, I cut him off too quick. He said he heard it all, fortunately, just. No thanks to me. You wouldn't. You'd need a flat surface. That's what he just said. Let's listen again. Surface first.
No, you wouldn't. You'd need a flat surface.
Sorry, you wouldn't. Yep, that's the bottom line, isn't it? You need a flat surface first. That's how it's measured. It's on screen. This is it. Angle from there to there. And
I gave him the chance. I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead. It's your point. You go ahead.
No, because I gave him the chance before I asked him that. He was describing how he's using flat surface. I was like, wait a minute. So, just... surface? And that was his response. No, you need a flat surface. All right, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wrap, guys. Welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks in the back, bathrooms to the left. DJ's playing request, and smoke them if you got them.
I use that quite frequently as a trailer. So if you're waiting to see a video, one of the members only videos when it comes out, I typically don't do this very often because there's a second channel. Should plug that. I'll do that in a second. But if you're waiting for a premiere that's on the main channel, this channel that you're watching this live on now, Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, then I'll put that clip, we need a flat surface to measure Earth, from Zanuck, as the like trailer quite frequently, because it gives me a list of what I can put up as the trailer, and I often pick this because exactly this is one of our staunch opponents, Globe Believer to the bitter end, agreeing with us when forced to. Measuring a flat plane is how it is done. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about this when it comes to elevation angles, mapping, surveying. It's all the same. Doesn't make any difference how you want to bandy it with us as a Globe Believer. Earth's measured flat. No, there's no two ways about it. First.
No, you wouldn't. You'd need a flat surface.
Sorry, you wouldn't. That's right. Now enjoy. I won't play that bit.
Yeah, you
Anyway.
already edited it in the video.
So yeah, you all need a flat plane. It's not just us. It's anybody. That's how Earth's measured, isn't it? So, you know, that was probably the first point that we started to recognise that right chocolate with Zanuck. We were like, hang on a second. He's actually having to admit this.
Yeah, because that like he doesn't come very often, but like when that was the first time he showed up after the elevation angle argument became a thing, and yeah, that's what he hit us with.
Yeah, same.
Use your globe, Zanuck. No, we need a flat surface. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Same was done with that Hyuka disingenuous guy that keeps coming back even though he's on permamute. I don't know actually how to ban him. But there we go. He did the same thing, right? It's very quick and easy with a ball believer now, if they have a vague understanding of how anything to do with Earth measurements in navigation, specifically in this example, are done. If you know that they've got a vague understanding of it, you can take them very quickly to a specific measurement, I don't know, latitude, and go, right, how's it done? So we're going to need a flat plane for that. What are they going to do? Rock and hard place. Deny that that's how their globe comes to fruition, because it absolutely is the measurement that their systems are based on, whether they like it or not. Now, they can be ignorant, that's to say they don't know Earth's measured flat to base their systems on, to create a globe with after the flat Earth measurements. If they don't know that, well, fair enough, that's just them being dumb. But if they do, they've got no choice. They'll be conceding before us how Earth's measured flat. Just like Zanuck did, he was just the first.
Yeah, the Hyuka guy did that like 3 days ago.
Yeah,
he conceded to you that it was. Oh, I think he said that. Yeah, we know that's how it's measured flat. And then he had a but because he wanted to keep talking about the citation or whatever the hell. Like, no, you already made the point, man. You already conceded the point. Argument's done. Why you want to talk about citations?
Yeah. At that point, just because they're WANKER, at that point, it's like, don't need to deal with you anymore. You know it's flat. I know it's flat. So what do you think you're going to do? Carry on debating with us? You're a disingenuous scumbag at the point that you know it's flat and are more than content to admit it when pushed into a corner by me. To then what? Carry on debating like there's something to debate about? Get lost. And when people go, oh, well, no one comes before you, it's like, yeah, because they know what's going to happen. They'll be put in a position where an audience knows from their own tongue how flat Earth must be measured for their fundamentalist religious belief. No one wants to do that. They want to retain some semblance of globe Earth belief that's justifiable in their own mind. They are on the edge of cognitive dissonance. They can sniff it, though, can't they? And they know where they're going to get it from. If they come here, it's contagious. They're going to leave with a heavy dose of cognitive dissonance because they'll know the awful truth of how Earth's measured if they come before us. And they'll be saying it. We'll be using their words against them. People desire that less and less and less as a globe believer than you could possibly imagine.
Just because you measure it flat, Nathan, doesn't mean it is flat.
Yeah, we've heard
Yes,
that.
it
Who was
does.
that? Who said that to us?
I can't remember. I've heard that many stupid, bizarre things. It's hard to keep count of. It's hard to keep count of.
Oh, that's been said for a good while.
But that is
They can't grasp.
factually inaccurate
They
as
can't
well.
grasp what horizontal means. They can't grasp that. They're so stuck on their paradigm. They cannot grasp what paradigm. The
They
horizon.
can. They know what horizontal means in every aspect of their life,
Perpendicular
in
to
real
plot, right?
life, whatever they're doing, right? in reality, they know what horizontal means. It's only
So they're
when they
being
get on this
shady.
Discord.
Hold
It's
on,
only
Chocolate.
when they get on the Discord and start talking about this subject, then they have to literally bend horizontal in their minds, like the kid bending the spoon in the Matrix.
APOC,
Literally.
then Omni. Hold on, Chocolate. Just pause for a sec. APOC, then Omni. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like the more that they try to, allude to the fact that they have a sphere in their corner, yet you point out you have horizontal lines, they can't grasp how that will never bend. Like the Matrix you're talking about, it doesn't bend because
It's
horizontal.
just a tangent. Apocrypha, it's a tangent.
Yeah, okay.
What's
So
a
when you get
tangent?
to the end of the tangent, it's still horizontal, and it's still a
Yes.
straight line.
Yes, and that's okay. Yes.
Why is that okay?
Okay for a flat Earth.
How can
What do you mean?
how
What do you
can
mean
how
that's
can
okay?
you? Go ahead.
No tangent. No tangent mirror when you're out at sea measuring these angles. We went through this yesterday with you, Omni. I mean, I know we got a protracted silence. Does that mean that you didn't hear it? Because you didn't respond? No, we don't have a tangent mirror. Shout out to Charlie and Cat. If you declare with your mouth, quote, Jesus is Lord, end quote, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:9. Oh, you're giving people the key to heaven, Charlie and Cat. How sweet. Thank you for the super chat.
Going back to the horizontal, I don't care what you believe is going on, but a horizontal line is still straight, and you cannot deviate from that position, no matter
Right.
how you want to bend it.
No, doesn't need to bend. Look up a tangent in geometry.
A tangent is a straight line. Thank
Pardon
you.
me.
All right,
Yes,
let's go from
it
there.
is. Yeah, yes. And what makes it a tangent?
Nothing. You
The
just
fact that
declared
it's
it.
straight.
Nothing. You just begged the
No.
question of it.
You can have straight lines that aren't tangent to anything.
Okay, well, you answer
Wait,
your own question.
what?
What makes it a tangent, then? You tell us.
You want to define
Hold
tangent,
on,
brother?
Chocolate. Hold on. He's asked the question. Now he can give us the answer. So what makes it a tangent? You tell us then. Go on. No, you
more
just
to a
begged the
tan-
question of it. You're just assuming it's a tangent. There's no demonstrated.
I can tell you why it's not tangent.
Go ahead.
Well, eye level that you're claiming to curve is the baseline or the adjacent of the angle you're going to form where surface level appears to meet the sky. That eye level must be horizontal, straight, flat to get that depression angle to that parallel surface level. To get the dip angle that you're going to assume is to a geometric sphere, but is wrong.
So yeah, assuming tangency is just that. Assuming that you're firing off a line into the distance that's to a point below the surface level when extrapolation of a flat Earth parallel with surface level when measuring eye level. These axiomatic principles can't be violated by suggesting the surface level bends, which is where this ends up.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's still a straight line, and
Yes.
they can't grasp how a straight line doesn't curve. They don't.
No.
They
It's like they're trying to
Absolutely
fight a
doesn't
straight
curve.
line with another straight line. It's weird. I
Go
don't
ahead, Omni.
understand it.
Just 1 sec. Go ahead, Omni.
he's living on a disco ball. That's what he's doing.
No. All it means is you don't understand the globe, perspective, the globe model.
No,
like
we
you can absolutely have a.
We thoroughly understand.
Hold on.
We thoroughly understand the paradigm.
Okay,
We
just
thoroughly
don't latch onto the ad hom.
Can I see that model?
Everyone chill. Don't latch onto the ad hom. I'm telling you, you don't understand. It wasn't his point that he was about to make. Just let him continue. Go ahead.
Can you steel man?
Talking to you,
Can
Omni.
you
Go
steel
ahead.
man the tangent line, Apocrypha?
In your position, you think
Steel man,
okay, so you think that because you can establish a tangent line, which is a straight line, you think it's curving. So welcome to disco ball Earth. That's
No,
what you believe.
That's not a steel man. That's
So-
incorrect.
So no, wait, hold on. The
I'll still
moment
man
that
your
you
argument and I'll destroy it.
No.
go ahead, John. No, go ahead, John.
No. Go ahead, Omni. You've got Apocryphon. You feel free. Carry on.
If you think that you can take a straight line, which is a tangent, to a position over the horizon, and then let's put yourself to that position way at the end of the horizon, you will still have to calculate a straight line.
So
At your point,
what I'm telling you, Apocryphon, very simply, is you do not understand the globe claim, the globe model. Your understanding of it, it's very clear from what you're saying that you don't get it. And your attempts to steel man it.
How about instead of telling
Everyone step off.
So that you don't understand.
Right, stop. Everyone stop and shut up. It's the second time he's tried to go through it because you're latching onto him suggesting he doesn't understand. He's going to explain why. He just isn't given the opportunity. Third time, Omni. Try again.
Tell him
My
to
bad.
get
I'll
to
try
it,
and keep
man.
him off you.
I'll give you enough rope. Go ahead.
What model?
Neil, please.
Omni, I'll give you enough rope to hang yourself. You go ahead. Keep speaking.
Okay, good. We'll see if that actually works. So you can establish a tangent line from a curve, right? That is in fact what makes it a tangent line. The tangent line is a straight line that intersects the curve at one point. This is basic geometry. So along the curve at all points, according to the globe model, you don't have to believe it, but that this is according to the globe model. This is the perspective that globers are coming from. Gravity at every point gives you a plumb line. Possibly deflected, but that's much more complicated. So we'll just talk about we'll assume a perfectly spherical Earth, which has an infinite number of points around it, each of which has its own plumb. The plumb lines are not parallel. The plumb lines all converge at the center of gravity of the Earth, the center of the Earth, roughly. So from every one of those plumb lines, you can establish a horizontal 90 degrees parallel to or perpendicular to plumb.
You just wrecked yourself, by the way. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because the second that you establish a 90-degree position, you are now adherent to something away from your position is also going to be 90 degrees to your position. You are establishing a straight line baseline to where it's not curving away from you. Because
correct.
the second,
it's not curving. Yes, correct. It's not curving.
Okay, thank you. You're right about that. It's not curving. Welcome to Flat Earth. I'll just stop.
No, not at all. So from that tangent line, I can use my theodolite and take an elevation angle to a celestial object or the top of a mountain or the top of a lighthouse, whatever I need to.
You just agreed that the moment that you took these positions along a baseline of a 9-degree position from your standpoint,
from plumb,
yes, then you are no longer on a sphere. You are on a place that's going to be a planar position,
right?
Because you're deriving the angles.
It is what is called a tangent plane. All right. If you're going to
tangent plane. Okay. Let's say this. Omni. Let's say you have a tangent plane from your position to your target that you're shooting.
No, the target is above the tangent plane.
Okay, so let's go beyond that. The person looking from the other side back to the original position. You are not going to have a curvature because you are both establishing a 90-degree position that establishes a baseline
So,
to where you can measure the angle to begin with.
so what
You
did I
understand that?
say? Yeah, I do. What did I explain to you originally about the globe model and 90-degree or vertical lines? What did I explain about that? Can you repeat what I said roughly?
Well, you try to say that it's just hitting a tangent, and that
No.
suffices.
What I said about vertical lines, plumb lines from each position around, or use a circle if it's easier for you.
I don't think you spoke further by that. I don't know.
I did. Yeah, no,
Say it
I
again.
did.
Say it again.
But if
Okay,
close the line
so
to
in the
Discord,
globe
you can
model,
make comments. That is to say, you can,
just
they won't
imagine the
hear
Earth
you
as a
commenting,
circle
John.
because
Feel
it'll be
free.
easier. And
Well,
from the center of that circle,
He's leading APOC around.
every
in
line that
circles.
you could draw that radiates
That's what he's
is
doing.
a plumb line
He is-
at the point where it intersects the
He's-
circle. So
He's
there
got
are
plumb.
an infinite
He's
number
not been
of vertical
defined plumb.
lines
He's been let
that
slip
are all
gravity in,
plumb from
right?
that point on the
Well, we should
circle.
know gravity only applies on an
But they're
inertial
not,
plane.
though. They can't
There
be.
they are.
All
No, they are.
No.
Go on, one more time. They can't hear you.
Well, they're all that he's been allowed to beg the question of gravity being in respect to a sphere. It's with respect to an inertial plane. He's been allowed to use plumb to get a vertical. He can't do that.
Yeah,
But
what he's
doing it
also
anyway.
done is tied it all onto a tangent plane. So everything he's talking about is still taking place on a flat plane. He's just got an assumed ball dangling below it.
Position to the other theolite on the other side of the hill,
So you're
because at
not.
the same. No, listen.
That's reciprocal zenith angles. That's a different.
But listen. When you put a theolite on the other side of the hill, they're no longer 90 degrees to your position.
Correct.
This is why you guys, and when I say you guys, I mean a glober. This is why you believe that you can have two theolites set up on a curve to literally bullet point themselves to one another to make it 90 degree. This is where you're wrong.
No,
you don't get that though.
Okay,
Yeah,
stop it.
I
Where are you
you're-
getting
so
your
you're
90 from?
Still
Hold on.
misunderstanding.
Go ahead, Omni. Just let him respond. APOC.
The point is that
APOC, that means
if I
stop.
was to take
Stop.
a theolite on one
APOC,
side of the
APOC,
hill,
please. Just stop. No,
Okay, go
you're
ahead.
saying you're wrong. You're saying you can't have his two theodolites with curves because they've got 90 degrees. He's explained to you that he's doing this on a tangent plane. And you've not acknowledged it, so he wants to presumably correct you, but you're just not stopping. So you've got to now let him.
Okay, that's fair.
So what you have there are two intersecting tangent planes. Each theodolite
Right,
creates
we're back
its
on mute in
own
Discord. You can give your
tangent plane because each
color
theodolite
commentary
at
over
a
the top.
different
Feel free.
location has a different
It's
plumb.
complete garbage. Why has he been
False.
given a tangent plane?
No,
Why has he been
well,
given
okay,
No,
so
a differential
Why is he allowed
drops
to
in
give him a
vertical speed? What the fuck is going on? Is nobody paying attention?
Yeah, we're all paying
Like-
attention.
Like, we talk about this every day.
Yeah, but we need to see what's going on. That's why I'm allowing this to happen.
John, I told you we're all alone, number one. Number two, I'm just pissed that we're giving him a model all the time. I understand exactly what you're saying,
Right.
but you're giving him a model 3 times.
Fair enough.
degree position to one itself. If you
I didn't
can't
give him a
grasp that a 90 degree position to another 90.
okay, I
don't-
think I don't know. But
My
yeah,
bad. I got a phone call. My bad. I got a phone call. Let me say it again. If you are saying that one theolite to another theolite doesn't have a 90 degree position to when it's to each other, then you are false. You are wrong.
So
they
let's
will have that.
So let's set that up and check the reciprocal zenith angles. And you know what happens when we do, and it shows a curve.
No. You can't go there.
What?
No,
Okay,
you can't go there.
Okay,
Hold on,
that's
Omni.
your
Why
test, though.
can't he?
Because the whole point of reciprocal zenith angles are based upon an observation from one point to another and how something drops to your position optically. Now, it's not to say that it has to do with the curve of the Earth. It has to do the way things optically are going to drop down optically, just like like a corridor where you see doors in a casino, and way at the end, the top of the door will be lower to its position that you are standing next to, just like street lights on or street poles or whatever you want to call them, lamp posts, whatever. They're gonna drop optically, and let's say we built that on a straight, perfect, position. It's just the way things work optically. So Omni,
Okay, stop a second.
you're
Stop a
invoking
sec.
this. It's
No.
false.
I'm not.
He's
You're
already
wrong
Hold
about
on,
that.
just one second, Omni.
Go ahead.
Just one sec. Shout out to Goldie. Thank you for gifting the membership. Really appreciate it. Go ahead, Omni.
Okay. So yeah. So very it's very clear that what the theodolites measure is 100% not the perspective drop. The perspective drop is the angle to the target. Okay, that's it. It's just the angle.
Correct. I agree with you.
When you add up those angles that each one of them is shooting to each other, you discover that the plumb lines are not parallel.
No. What you're not getting is that it optically drops to your position. So if you have something that is set up like two theodolites apart from one another, you're correct.
Okay, you're going around in circles.
And by the way,
now. You're going around in circles. Which one is it, Omni? Are you working on a tangent plane, or have you got reciprocating zenith angles? Which one is it? You can't have both. You're in contradiction currently.
So no, you're not in contradiction.
Exactly.
You're not in contradiction. The angle of elevation that you're measuring is from a tangent plane. So the theodolite
it's a straight line.
Yes, and you measure up from it to get an elevation angle. Yes.
I don't understand. What is this elevation angle you speak of? Can you define that for us?
Yeah, from a baseline, it's the measurement up towards whatever target you have. So it's the angle between a baseline and the target.
And they're both 9 degrees, right?
So we need a flat Earth for this. Then.
Elevation angles are not necessarily 90 degrees.
No, they have to, because that's how you're getting the angle. You could only establish an angle from that 9-degree position.
Just stop a second. Stop. Hello. Yeah. I got your response, Omni. But we're still in the same contradiction, though, aren't we? You can't have it both ways.
No.
You can't have both a tangential plane, because that's a plane, the horizontal plane that the observer's standing on to measure this angle. Now, you're also saying that, no, it's not. It's reciprocating zenith angles. You can't have it both ways. It's either one or the other.
You're wrong.
It's either a plane.
Yeah. So, can you explain what you think reciprocal zenith angles are, Nathan?
Well, I didn't claim them. You did.
I know. But you're saying they're in contradiction. So can you explain what you think they are and why you think they're in contradiction?
Why would I explain your claim of reciprocating zenith angles when we've already defined how Earth's measured flat with horizontal planes? If you can tell me where we measure reciprocating zenith angles, then I'll pay any justification like I need to justify it. We don't measure them, do we?
It's done every year in surveying school. It's a very common thing. And I can show you videos of people measuring the...
Sorry, do you want to show me a measured reciprocal zenith angle, please?
Well, I can't post in the... give me permission to post in the chat.
So what's the measurement? What's it called?
Give me permission to post in the chat.
You just need to say it verbally. Tell me.
The angles are always greater than 180 degrees, which means we're on a curve.
No, that's a false.
Sorry, that's not what I asked. Sorry, everyone stop off. Where do we measure this with respect to Earth? When's it measured? Who's measuring it? What's the measurement called? You can give me that verbally.
Yes. So, although it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to conceptualize vertically.
No.
Verbally. So
Omni, hold on, just real quick. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to say this real quick. That angle is pencil whipped, And if you're not going to agree to me right now, then you're just a liar in the chat right now. Because I'll tell you right now, that whole premise of it is a pencil whipped mathematical calculation. So if you were to take an angle or something, you're going to include this assumed radius drop to your position. It's a pencil whipped calculation conclusion. If you are going to disagree with that, then you are disingenuous and there's no point to even talk to you. Or if you agree to it.
He also said that elevation angles don't have 90 degrees in them. You would fail third grade geometry. And I just put them all in chat. Sunshine.
Exactly.
So first
Sunshine.
off, all of that, I'm afraid.
Not first of all, what is an elevation angle?
An elevation angle is an angle measured from a horizontal
9 degrees.
Hold on.
90 degrees from plumb. Yes, the vertical angle is 90 degrees from plumb. The elevation angle is not necessarily 90 degrees.
No, that's a lie. No. Get out of here. That's a fucking lie.
Can you have an elevation angle of 30 degrees? Yes, you can, Apocryphon. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's difficult for you, but yes.
You can have
an elevation angle of 45 degrees or 46
degrees. The angle itself is derived from the 90 degree, bro.
Oh, God. Can everyone stop a second? Stop. Go ahead, Quantum Eraser. What are you trying to get in?
He said that elevation angles don't require 90 degrees.
False.
He doesn't know what an elevation angle is. He would fail third grade geometry. I have him in chat. Elevation angles, about 6 of them. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, so when he's saying 90 degrees, he's saying the elevation angle has to be 90 degrees, which is dumb.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say it's derived from your 90 degree position. So if I were
90 degrees to what? 90 degrees to what? You can't just say 90 degrees. 90 degrees to what, Apocryphon?
To a plumb and level position.
Yes,
what are you not understanding?
90 degrees to plumb. Yes, that's exactly right. 90 degrees to plumb.
Yeah,
so if you say that, we agree.
Yeah,
yes.
So we've got 90 at the star that you're measuring and 90 at your position. That's like a box, right?
Thank you.
Right.
Omni, are you under the impression? Are you under the impression that you can get an angle from a curved surface?
I think we've discussed that a whole lot, and I'm surprised that somebody who
is that a yes or no?
As,
it's a yes.
No,
is that a yes
not with
or
a
no?
Baseline. The baseline has to be
90 degrees.
Line. No.
Yes, thank you.
Everybody except Omni, shut up. Everybody except Omni, please be quiet. Right, just take us through it, Omni. We're measuring what with respect to what? Go ahead. Everyone else should be quiet.
Oh, okay. I've done this several times. I'll do it again. So imagine I'm standing on a hill, which is a tall hill with a gentle curve, okay? And I'm looking at a star overhead, somewhere in my forward field of view. Set up my theodolite because I want to take an elevation angle to that star. The elevation, the theodolite has a plumb line and it has a bubble level, which gives you a horizontal baseline that is a tangent line, or if you want to make it a plane, a tangent plane. It is, and this is important, Apocryphon, 90 degrees to plumb.
Okay, no worries.
Now remember,
just before we move on, just bear with me, Omni. Okay. So can you give us a citation, please, that says that an elevation angle measurement is a tangential line? Can you just give us a citation that backs that, please?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And while he does that, I just want to
everyone
interrupt
stop.
this.
We're not doing anything till we get that.
Okay, that's fine.
Where's the citation from?
Yeah.
It's from Surveying and Fieldwork.
Surveying and what?
I'll put a link in there. Don't you worry.
What's it from? Surveying and what?
Field work.
And it's defining an elevation angle as tangential, correct?
Yeah.
Now I can't post in the chat. Someone
Send it to me,
to
Omni.
post in
I'll
the
post
chat.
it in Skype. Send it to me. Send it to me, Omni. I'll post it in Master B for you, so it can get put up on screen.
No, go ahead. I gave you the role.
Uh-oh.
At the
Everyone's
end of the
very
day,
calm at the moment.
at the end of the day, if you're establishing a horizontal position on a curve, that means your other point will not be horizontal to your position. I don't know what you don't
That made no
understand
sense.
about that.
That made no
just
sense.
chill for a second.
APOC. Yeah, this is when you chill and let them do their thing.
All right, for sure.
What do you mean by your other point?
This is why I told you not to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's just see that citation. Has it come through yet, John?
I put it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I copied it over to Master B.
Thank you. Let's have a look. Handbook for Surveyors, Mansfield, 1848 to 1925. Is this what we're looking at, yeah?
Yep.
I've got it up on screen. Do you want to read it?
You want me to read it?
Your citation.
A level surface is accurately defined as a curved surface at which each point is perpendicular to the direction of gravity at that point. A plumb line gives the direction of gravity at any place. The surface of still water is a truly level surface. A horizontal line or a horizontal plane at any point is tangent to a level surface at that point. The amount of the downward deflection of a level surface from the horizontal plane is given by the formula in the preceding chapter, blah, blah, blah. And there's a picture that shows you the level line, which is curved, and the horizontal.
Level doesn't mean curved, bro.
Well, I know you think so, but I just read you the
APOC,
definition.
it's the third time I've asked you.
Sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
So there's my citation.
Okay, and what's this used for?
Surveying.
Surveying what?
The Earth.
Okay. And where's this put into practical application?
All over the place.
This particular type of surveying that says levels curved.
Yep.
Okay,
It says
give me an
the
example.
Principles and practice of surveying.
Okay, give me one item that's been built with this
You can read
principle.
the book. I mean, I gave you the.
I'm still asking the question.
I gave you the link.
Yeah, okay. Where's it been put into practical application in this way?
So this is from 1905 or 1915.
That's not what I asked.
Where it's been, what's that?
It's not what I asked.
1905.
Where has this been put into practical application? Show me some building that's been erected and shows demonstrably that this method.
Well, this would be the.
I haven't finished asking the question. It's the third attempt. Did you want to answer a different question before I've answered it for a second time?
Arc of the parallel is the answer to where it's been put into practice.
Arc of the parallel.
Places.
What's that?
A massive surveying. You know what it is, Nathan. I can read minds over TCP/IP, and I know you know this.
Tell me what it is.
So you already know it, right?
Tell me what it is.
You don't know it?
You understand? I've got a show. I didn't think I'd have to break this down in the middle of the discussion, but clearly you must have me do it. Tell me what it is.
So it was a massive surveying project undertaken by the American government, surveying land all across a large swath of America.
Okay. What was the practical?
Arc.
And that did what? So there's no. Is there something practical that you can show me that was achieved as a result of that? Then
Creating topographical maps, drawing state boundary lines.
There we're getting somewhere. What map was developed from it?
Topographical maps. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to show me the map that was developed using this system so you can show me how this was practically applied to the map, please? specifically a curved level.
So, as I pull this up, just so we're clear, I can read your mind, and I know what you're thinking. It's a special talent that I have. So, you know full well what this is. You're very familiar with how the how level is conceived of by the globe. And you also know that these techniques were used in the American
I'm just going to stop
parallel,
you. Stop telling me what I know. Stop telling me you can read my mind. This is getting irritating real quick.
I think
Stop
it's
it.
important for the.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
What you?
Stop.
Okay.
No, stop telling me what I know.
I'm just. I think everyone.
Can you shut up?
Put the cards on the table.
Can you stop talking? Do you need to repeat what I've asked you to do?
I did.
Or will this obfuscation tactic continue, Omnivore? I'll just ask you that instead. Or you seem to be continue. You're answering my question, but you seem to be answering my question by talking through me. You've already answered.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be this little dance now. So when I ask you to show me how the curved level was practically applied to the map, is it just going to be met with you talking through me asking? Because that's the second time I've asked.
Right. Because I'm letting people know that what you're going to do
stuttery
is you're going to be
stuttery.
Like, oh, spherical excess. He's lying because the math makes up the curve in spherical excess.
Why are you telling me what you're going to apologise for?
Because you're transparent. Your head might as well be glass, Nathan.
For me,
I can read your mind.
You seem to be squirming.
I can read your thoughts.
Can you? That's really interesting.
Easy.
Right, why are you telling my audience what you can do in terms of your... Why are you chanting? Can you stop chanting? Do you want to get a grip?
Chanting.
You going to get a grip? Third time.
You sound very nervous, man.
Yeah, you do sound nervous. Get a grip there, Omni. I'll let you tucker yourself out, shall I? I'll ask you a third time when you're done tucking yourself out. Yeah, there, through the top of me, yeah? You need to tucker yourself out through the top of me there, do you, Omni? This little dance is going to continue till I ask a third time unimpeded.
We can skip ahead and go to the point.
No, I'm not going to skip anywhere. I'm staying exactly where we are indefinitely, Omni. And we're going to see if you chant through me.
Skip ahead and go to the part where you tell your audience that spherical excess, which is what you get when you do this, when you measure the angles. I know.
Stuttery.
That's false.
So show me the map and show me how this curved level was practically applied to it. Third time I've asked.
Yeah, it's in the document. When you apply this to it, what you get is
not when you.
So first off,
are you dumb? Are you dense?
Yes, when you. Yes.
No, show me it being applied on a map that has a curved level. Sorry, when you. That sounds like future tense.
No, it's when you apply this technique.
No, that sounds like future tense.
Surveying.
Are you dense? Are you not understand? It seems like, ladies and gentlemen, he's just going to rumpus the point.
Calm down.
Is it not practically applied then?
Calm down.
It seems like it's not practically applied and you've got to rumpus this, Omni. You're going to rumpus this, Omni. You're going to rumpus this, you coward.
It's okay.
Coward.
Okay. You're going to be
coward. Coward. You're going to rumpus this. We're going to get to make the point unimpeded, or are you going to rumpus this? I'm asking. It's not rhetorical.
I don't know. When this technique,
you stuttery bitch.
I've spelled out.
I haven't finished making my point, and you are going to yammer on about nothing.
Breathe, Nathan.
It's not practically applied.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not. You'll be okay.
You stuttery bitch.
Yeah, you wrap it up.
Yes. Well, it's a show, right?
An asshole.
Yeah,
I'm not referencing anybody.
Why all the tactics, man?
Why all the tactics, Omni? Why all the tactics, Omni?
Look at him.
Is it because you're losing really badly and it's not practically applied to a map and we're going to apply it after the fact, future tense?
There are maps in the document. Literally, there are maps in the document.
Let's ask for a fourth time then. Let's see if he impedes me by you chanting through it. Let's see if he can tolerate the question. He's starting to laugh already. I can hear it.
Yes,
so, Omni. Oh, we're immediately talking, are we? Fourth time.
Yeah,
so can you show me where this is that Omni talking through me? Scared?
He can't help himself.
You scared, Omni? Scared of the question coming?
So there are maps in the document.
It seems he's answering before the question was even started in this instance. What a coward.
There are maps.
Omni.
Still on screen for my audience, by the way. I don't need any help. Apocryphon. You've been told 4 times not to do that. No, it's not practically applied ever. There is no curved levels applied to maps. This is total bullshit. You fail.
Okay, so that's not true.
Show me where 4th time's a charm. 5th time, my bad. Where this curved level. Oh, he's chanting through me. Tactics. What a coward. Maybe if you obfuscate it for the 5th time there, Omni, you won't get asked for the 5th time because you've just suggested the curved level is applied to maps. 5th time I've asked.
Yes.
Can you show me? I'm not going to get to the end of the request again, it seems, because you're a coward who's lost.
Yes. No, I am.
Stuttery bitch.
So
you are a stuttery bitch. Yeah, we know. I know you can stutter your way through me requesting. You show me where it's practically applied a curved level to a map.
Yeah,
it isn't.
Give me some pictures. Give me the ability to post.
Give me some what? Chanting space to stutter.
Yeah. That doesn't really work for you, Nathan. It just makes you look mad. So, can somebody give me permission?
What? Whatever you're doing not working for you.
You guys are afraid to let me post
doesn't
pictures,
work for
right?
Nathan? Are you serious?
No, you just don't do anything, and then you rumpus over every time
question.
Nathan says anything. That's what you've been doing the last.
Can you show me where
nonstop?
Can you show me where a curved level is applied to a map, please? That's what I asked 6 times ago. I'm still asking, and he's chanting through it because his only tactic is to put as much distance between this losing point that I'm now making with him talking through me. So if he can put enough guff over the top of me asking him for a 6th time where a curved level is applied to a map. Show me.
Yeah. Well, let me post in the channel and you'll see it.
A curved level? Are you kidding me?
That's what's on screen for my audience. This is what he gave us.
Nathan, he's pencil whipping it, Nathan. That's what he's doing.
What does that mean?
Have you seen the chat? Have you seen this guy?
That means that if you take an angle to a position and you pencil whip this assumed curvature to that point, that's what I mean by pencil whip. You then so let me break it down from a professional position.
Wait a second. Stop. Curve level is level horizontal?
No.
So
no.
Wow.
I read you the definition. I can read it again. Level surface. A level surface is accurately defined as a curved surface at which each point is perpendicular to the direction of gravity at that point.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
Chanting.
Yeah, we saw it.
Is chanting the direction of gravity, chanting at any place.
Yeah, we saw it on
The surface of still water is a truly chanting level surface.
You can't fucking shut your mouth. It's level horizontal.
We started this, so
we started this. We started this is you chanting like a bitch through the top of QE to try and piss him off. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to the point where his curve level has no practical application and he cannot in any way, shape or form demonstrate it being practically applied. And he's going to future fake his way through it, saying how we can, after the fact, apply it. So there is no practical tying of it in any way, shape or form to a map, a Cartesian system. No, there's no curve levels, and he's got nothing but his tactics beyond this point. Now, what's he going to do? He's going to attempt, with his laughing and chanting, to really wind QE and me up from this point forward. Laugh at us, tell us it's not working. While, in reality, he's very nervous. And his sentence fragments and stammering are a testament to how nervous he is. He knows he's screwed, and he hasn't got any practical examples of where curve levels, as per the citation, still on screen, will actually show a practical yielded example. There isn't one. He knows it. I know it.
Okay.
I know he knows it.
Hold on. Let's get down to cases. He said level is not horizontal. From dictionary.com, level being in a plane parallel to the plane of the horizon. Horizontal. Horizontal. Level. Level. Not rising. This is from Cambridge. Not rising or falling or higher on one side, but even in all directions. Horizontal.
Just a quick question.
Exactly.
Quick question. Is that Cambridge Dictionary from 1903?
No, but it goes something deeper. because according to the slope-intercept formula, all horizontal lines have a rate of change of slope of 0.
Not according
Omnivore's IQ. However, according to the curvature definition by the United States Naval Academy, curvature is defined as the rate of change of slope of non-zero, sir. So you're into a non-contradiction violation and a law of identity violation, sir. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, in other words,
can't
curve
grasp.
doesn't level. But curve does not level, bro. Like,
Right. The
that's
arc
crazy.
of the parallel is a contradiction in terms as well, because if two lines are parallel, there's not an arc between them.
Exactly.
Just so
Exactly.
you know that. That's
And can we
absurd.
see
So it's
that
like,
globe model you said about 5 or 6 times? Can you post that in here?
I've been asking for it and got shut down for it 3 times. He asserted a model.
Yep. Globe model. We'll get to
Omni-
gravity next. Hold on.
Omni, if you were
You
to
wanna
take
see the
if
globe
you were to
model.
take a position,
Hold
Omni,
on,
if you were to take
APOC,
Hold on.
APOC, the delirious drunk shit that you now spew will be the thing he'll respond to rather than the long list of actual demolitions delivered to him by QE. Which do you think he's going to favour? He's going to address your drunk ramblings, isn't he? The easy option.
So you're going to reconcile that horizontal and the rate of change of slope there, Omnivore, right now. Then we'll get to the globe model.
We've dealt with your citation, Omni. We've given it due diligence. We've spent about 15 minutes of our time going through what you gave us and pointing out the law of contradiction, non-contradiction violations held within with a bendy level. So, I mean, yeah, you've had to go back nearly 100 years for this shit. We've taken it apart and we'd like a response from you. It's only reasonable that you give us one now. We've taken it apart at its base premise that's flawed.
Let me know when you're done. I can address that.
I was just done by asking you to respond to us taking a giant steaming shit on this that's on screen that's contradictory from about 100. Are you going to chant through me, you fundamentalist zealot bitch that's chanting through me after hand-waving what we've asked you to address? We've just taken a shit on this that you gave us, Omni.
Okay.
It's about 100 years out of date. I'm not asking you to answer me while I'm telling you that we've taken a dump on it. Do you want to respond or not? Or do you want to only respond while I'm asking you to respond? Is it only that you're capable of responding in the middle of me asking you? Dumbass. Communication, not your strong point, right? Knowing when people stop, and that's when you talk. Not your strong. Maybe protracted silences. Maybe long protracted silences so you can really piss me off. Only talk while I'm talking, right? Other than that, it's long protracted silences with you not saying anything, right, dumbass?
Okay. So the law of non-contradiction is not the law of logic that you can apply in this situation, because the law of non-contradiction only works when the context for whatever is non-contradicting is the same in both conditions, X and not X. In this case, it's not. What's happening is there is a set of definitions, which is the surveying global definitions, that you take issue with and refuse to acknowledge, even though, like I said, I can read your mind. I know you're aware of them. So what's happening is, instead of having the discussion as to which definition is correct, you say, no, I posted from dictionary.org and it disagrees. Therefore, my position must be correct. No.
Are they straight lines? Are they straight lines?
Right. You got loose never, dude.
Which
you
lines?
failed third grade intro to geometry.
Are they straight lines?
You failed third grade intro to geometry.
Omni, maybe you would have had something if maybe somehow you can show where curved level is practically applied. You had plenty of chance to do that, and you didn't do that. Instead,
yes, it was.
For the audience's benefit, when the sixth rendition has come from a secondary person, that's Chocolate in this instance, notice how Omni's little tactic immediately started up, and he started chanting straight through the top of Chocolate. Now, what I've done so that me pointing that out doesn't get interrupted is I closed both Chocolate and Omni's lines simultaneously, so I could point out to you, the audience, that tactic that's been used on me 5 times previous, which is when we get to the stage that there is no practical application of this shit, that I'm going to put back on screen. The shit that we took a giant steaming crap on, and then were asked when we were finished in response. That was what we got last time. We asked him if he'd like to respond to us, pointing out the law of non-contradiction violation held within this crap on screen now, and he just asked if we were done. That's what he did. And then when Chocolate pointed out that he'd had plenty of opportunity to show a practical application and he hadn't done so, his tactic of chanting through the top of Chocolate immediately started up again. That's what Omni had to offer, just so we're all clear. I didn't allow it. I shut down my Discord line so Omni didn't get the 6th attempt to chant through that, which showed beyond all doubt how big a failure he was. Your tactics failing, Omni. Yeah, chanting through the top of me and now Chocolate, pointing out you didn't show a practical application of this shit that's on screen now that you gave us with your highlighter around it from 100 years ago. No, we went to the Oxford definition of parallel horizons, and you haven't overcome that. Your violation of the law of non-contradiction from this 100-year-old garbage that has no practical application that you've shown us to back it. You did manage to rumpus us asking you for it 6 times, though, didn't you? Well done. That's almost like a win.
Also, that 100-year-old citation that he got, within that reference, it will talk about the datum plane being level.
Yeah,
That's
there's
why he didn't want to
contradictions.
go to the practical
Yes.
application.
So John's pointing out there's contradictions within the citation itself, because to have a plane and also have it bend is also contradictory within the citation itself. But there we go. I mean, maybe if you just chant through that for an 8th time, it won't be like you've lost, Omni. Even though we've taken quite a considerable amount of time taking it apart, ripping it to shreds, maybe you could just infer that we haven't done anything and ask when we're done, at the end of me now inviting you to address the giant shit we took on the contradictory crap from 100 years ago that you didn't back with any practical evidence, Omni. Would you like to do that, in, respectfully, the fact that we've taken our time to do that, to take a dump on the stuff you presented that was wrong? Or just the stony silence, I guess. Nothing but the obfuscation tactic then, Omni. Well, thank you for bringing to us. It was garbage, Omni, and it was completely incorrect. It violated the law of non-contradiction when you bent level. That was rather stupid. You had to go back quite a long time to do it, didn't you? Like 100 years?
Amazing. It's amazing.
So I put a map. I sent Bushel a map because I can't post to the chat for some reason. So you can take a look at that map. It's from the Arc of the Parallel, and it shows you how they determined the topography of a chain of locations.
Is it pencil whipped? Is it pencil whipped?
So I still don't know what that means.
Okay, let me explain what I said, because so I've talked to many.
APOC, why? Why you doing this?
Because I've been in the field and I know what he's talking about, and I'm trying to explain to him how surveyors are going to take 5 to 10 shots to something at a distance, and then when they pencil whip it, what I mean by that is that they are going to account for a curvature mathematically that doesn't necessarily represent the actual thing at its position, but they are going to pencil whip it to make it.
So by definition, no, these are not pencil whipped.
Sorry, no, stop. Like I said earlier, APOC, right, what he's now going to do is go for the low-hanging fruit that you've just given him on a nice silver platter. No, what we need to see in this map is a practical application of bent level. So, now that we've got the map, show me the bent level and how it's practically applied to this map.
But that's the point, Nathan.
Shut up, APOC, or I'll frickin' mute you.
Do not. No.
Shut up! Omni, where does the bent level get applied to the map? Show me it. Don't seem to be hearing anything. I'm not being shown anything. I'm not being told how a bent level's applying to the map. What's going on?
That's my point.
All
I'm
righty
telling you,
then.
Nathan.
Why am I still hearing APOC when I'm talking to
Because
Omnivore?
he doesn't listen.
Omni, apparently you've got an example of where this citation with bent level applies practically to a map that's been developed with bent level. So can you example that for me? It's the 9th time you've been asked. Try your voice, APOC. I swear to God.
I'm sorry, Nathan. I'm sorry.
Don't be, just go on
that's the
mute.
point.
Please go on mute. APOC.
That's fair. That's fine.
Omni, 10th time. Can you show me where this map you've just offered has bent level applied to it in a practical way, please? Shall we assume it isn't going to be practically applied because it's garbage and violates the law of non-contradiction? Yeah, we'll definitely assume that based on the stony silence that we're getting, because we're not getting an example of how bent level made a map, practically. It didn't. It's stupid, it's idiotic, it's nonsensical, it's 100 and however many years that he's had to go back to get this stupid, nonsensical, contradictory citation that's even contradicted within its own body of text. So no, it's never going to be shown to be practically applied. It's a contradiction in terms. That's why we're getting stony silence. However, we did get, 7 sounds of Omni through the top of me asking him to show us where it's practically applied? The bent level that he's arguing for in contradiction. Apparently that's applied somewhere. Meanwhile, we do measure elevation angles with 90 degrees to the ground positions of stars on a flat baseline. Omni conceded that earlier. He suggested that when we measure that, it's with a tangential plane. So we're definitely still dealing with a plane. It's definitely still being measured flat, and it's dealing with ground positions. So nothing to do with a spherical surface assumed to be dangling below a plane with ground positions on it. We're just measuring a plane, and it's got ground positions on it because it's the ground and it's a plane. His assumption of a dangling dingleberry below a tangential plane, by assumption that he hasn't proved, he's just gone and cited some garbage for over 100 years ago that would suggest a violation of the law of non-contradiction that we took a dump on. Now, when being asked for the 11th time where bendy level applies to maps that were made, we've got this. That'd be crickets.
Nathan, just real quick. That's where I was going with it. Because I understand how theolites work and how we transfer lines and how everything you said is total bullshit. That's all. I'm sorry. Respectfully, I will mute up, but I'm just saying that's why I was so adamant about interjecting, because everything he was saying was total nonsense. That's all.
Thanks,
and you
great,
put
great
and you hit the nail. You hit the nail on the head.
So
Like,
it's not total nonsense. The part where you think that doing using a theodolite to measure a elevation angle is somehow incorporating the change of perspective in addition to the angle that you measure is what you're not really understanding there. So I question whether or not you've used one of these devices.
I see. I would question whether or not there's any
Thank you,
practical
Bushel.
application.
The link that
I would
Bushel
suggest.
posted.
Oh, you hadn't finished. My bad. Oh, you had. So I would ask for a 12th time where bent level from your citation that I'm going to put up on screen now that you offered us this crap that we took a giant steaming dump on, where this has a practical application to a map that you suggested. Now, we got the map and we didn't get an explanation. We just got plenty of obfuscation. So can you tell me or detail where bent level gets applied to the map that you suggested, please? 12th time I've asked you. No, is it just the low-hanging fruit only from Apocryphon? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to server mute Apocryphon, so it's only me that you have to deal with. So you can't just grab hold of some more low-hanging fruit that Apocryphon wants to throw out every time I deal with this. So it's the 14th time I've asked you to show a practical application of this shit on screen, and where we get bent level applied to a map. We don't, Omnivore. You're wrong. Otherwise, you'd have demonstrated it in one of the 14 attempts to do so. What you did do, though, was ramble through the top of me so it seemed like you hadn't been asked. But you have. You've been asked 14 times to show a practical application of bent level like in this citation on screen. It's shit and wrong and contradictory, Omni. I'd just like you to concede that because we've taken quite a lot of our time out of our day to do that with you, lest you be described as a liar and a bullshitter, only here to deceive me and my audience. Is that what you are, Omni, a liar and a deceiver? Or are you going to acknowledge this shit that we took a considerable amount of time out of our day to take apart in spite of your incorrect assertions that went along with it, that didn't come with a practical example because you didn't give us one in 15 attempts of being asked? You did become very rude and start talking through me in defeat, though, didn't you? And Chocolate. Can you maybe apologise for how you chanted your shit through the top of me and Chocolate in defeat? Told us how it wouldn't work out for us. End quote you. Do you remember you telling us it wouldn't work out for us? It hasn't worked out for you, Omni, and we'd like some acknowledgement of that, lest you be called a scumbag who just wastes people's time, and in spite of them correcting you when you're wrong about stuff, you just fall silent and then go for some of the low-hanging fruit when it becomes available. Looking for that apology. You said it wouldn't work out for me, remember? No, just the stony silence when I point out that there is no practical application of a bent level like on this citation that you gave us. Still on screen for my live audience. 109 people watching you get an arse smacking there, Omni.
So, what's your question, Nathan?
Can you, 15th time, show us a practical application of the bent level in violation of the law of non-contradiction on screen for my audience now by way of connecting it to the map you said it was practically applied to, and I asked you about 15 times. It seems like even on this, the 15th attempt, he's answering me before I've got to the end of the question. He's just asking.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Before I got to the end of it.
You ready? Okay. So the technique, so remember we started with a book that defines level surface in great detail from roughly the same time period. And the techniques in that book, and you can look at the whole book, it's online, you can read the book. So that book is used in large surveying projects like the American Arc of the Parallel and other similar projects all over the place. In fact, all across the globe, or I guess across the earth, we'll say. So the question is, how did they make those maps? So I sent Bushnell because I figure people might have a bit of difficulty using the interface. There's a place where the USGS has digitized all of the old maps. So I sent a map from like 1907 that was done with this technique, and it is a topographical map, meaning that it's got the topographical lines on it showing all the different elevations and the changes and everything like that. So that is how this technique was used. This technique, the technique that's outlined in the book that I posted when I was first asked to give a citation, is the technique that produced these maps. So and that's how it's used.
That's not you showing me where bent level applied to that at all.
So the place where curved level applies to that is in the technique of using theodolites and other tools like zenith telescopes and things like that to measure the elevation and the elevation of different points along their measurement path, along their surveying path.
Okay, could you define elevation for me, please?
Yeah, distance above sea level.
Mm-hmm. So it's not the distance above bent level.
Distance above sea level, mean sea level. If you
you'll need the sea to be level for that then. So it's not bending. So your violation
No,
of the
I
law
gave
of
you the we
non-contradiction
started with the
continues.
definition
It
of
seems like
level.
now he's lost. He's going to continue rambling. That's the
No,
violation
no,
of the
no.
law of non-contradiction that we've taken to you on several
No.
occasions prior
Okay,
to
you
now.
can't-
It seems this is now the second
I
attempt
got
for
it.
me
You
to
can't-
point it
yeah.
out. Second attempt.
So we
just count him off.
started with
Third
the
attempt.
definition
Third
of
attempt. He's just going to
level.
keep rambling through the top of me, it seems. His defeat is
We
never going to
started with the
be...
definition
His
of level.
defeat's not tolerable, it seems. So no, that's the same violation of the law of contradiction that you've got with sea level in it, because you need sea level to be level as an axiomatic principle. If it isn't level...
You don't understand.
I don't know. Is that the fourth attempt? We'll just count them off. We got 15 attempts that didn't show where bent level applied to a map that was being made. And it's a topographical map. What? Showing heights above and below surface level with respect to a level that's described with the sea. So that's not bent level then. So you haven't shown, as asked 16 times, where bent level applies. We've just got sea level. Not bent level, sea level. So it doesn't have a practically applied bent level to it. That's nonsense. That got your tongue? That wasn't rhetorical. It's nonsense to assert there's a bent level applied. You haven't demonstrated that.
So the law of non-contradiction, as I said, and I explained why, does not apply here. You're not applying it correctly. I don't expect most people to be philosophers, so that's fine. In this case, I am showing you...
Wow.
That statement, please.
Your argument is that the law of non-contradiction can't be applied, implying that it is a contradiction in itself, right?
Yeah, bent
so
level.
it is a contradiction. Yeah, because you know that it's a contradiction. Mr. I could read your mind guy,
yeah,
right? You know that. And in reality, nobody applies a bent level anywhere because that's contradiction. Right? So that's why you have to go back to
stop me for a second,
1905.
Chocolate, just for my audience's benefit. Chocolate ripping this dickhead a shred or two won't be tolerated. He had to chant through him tactics again. So like he did to me, now he's doing it to Chocolate also. We urge you.
Yeah, and what Omnivore just stated is thoughts. Omnivore, do you agree or disagree that level is no point higher or lower than another?
No, it won't play. It's only when we're taking a dump on his...
He knows it's over, right?
Yeah.
He knows it's over right there. Because what he's claiming is that level is equidistant from the center of a sphere, which is three-dimensional. But no point higher or lower than another is two-dimensional. What he's claiming, it means that it's not, because every point on a sphere will have a drop value to every other point. Now that's not higher or lower than another. That's a drop value. But he's claiming that level is three-dimensional. But level is two-dimensional.
Because he knows it's a contradiction.
Yeah, well,
nobody would argue. Nobody would say, "Oh, the law of non-contradiction doesn't apply here." You would say it's not a contradiction and tell us how and why, right?
Yeah, but it's
you wouldn't say, "Oh, that law." Like Omnivore, are you serious, man?
Yeah, it's akin
to within the discipline he's talking about.
No, he's saying it's akin to Brian. He's saying it's like when Rumpus said the second law of thermodynamics, that's a law of nature, does not apply to the Earth. This law of nature describing that which occurs always without exception doesn't apply to the Earth. He's saying the law, you say, what does that mean? Something that always applies, of non-contradiction? Well, that doesn't apply here, where I've got an egregious contradiction. That's what he's saying.
Yep.
Yeah, but even the tools within the discipline he's referring to, right? The water level, and they use spirit levels too. They're all referencing level as a horizontal, including within the theodolite. So when they must level the theodolite, right? And when they do that, the level they're referring to is a horizontal. There is no curved level, doesn't exist. What he's talking about is a mathematical afterfact that they add in after they've done their measurements across a horizontal plane.
My bad, Brian.
Right,
no, now something's just made a lot of sense.
Level, a curved line.
Something's just made sense. It wasn't my mind he was reading. It was yours in the future, Brian.
Yeah. So the minute I asked him that question, no answer, because he knows it's over. Right there. There is one surveyor alive that can answer that incorrectly.
Omnivore. Why would you say that the law of non-contradiction doesn't apply here instead of just saying that what you're saying, that level is bent, level is curved, is not a contradiction? Why don't you just tell us how it's not a contradiction? That's something we all know is horizontal, which is level, is not curved, because those aren't the same things in reality. Bring us back to reality, brother. That's what I'm asking you to do.
Hold on, Arwin. Go ahead, Omni.
Sorry. No, but he did it because it was a Freudian slip. He didn't need to say that consciously, but he did it. Because, right? I mean, the rules of logic don't apply where globe belief is concerned.
No, you're just misapplying that rule. The rule can only be applied if both things are in the same context. That's where you're falling down on this.
Omnivore. Did you hear my question a minute ago, Omnivore?
The context.
What do you mean both things are
No, Arwin's decided
that's
that
not
where I've
context.
told
Context.
APOC off to not offer this guy low-hanging fruit, Arwin's now offering it him in lieu of Brian.
Sorry.
I'll go over logic and philosophy with you in a second. Okay, good. Okay, so Arwin, so it turns out that
No, Brian's question. Brian.
Yeah, my question. My question was before Arwin's. So I'll ask you again. Okay, Omnivore. His level, right, no point higher or lower than another.
So it turns out that the law of non-contradiction, the thing cannot be self and not itself.
Brian, he's not going to answer you, so I'll just refer you to his cited source on screen where a level labelled line. Oh, he's going to rumpus me while I'm humiliating with his citation that violates the law of non-contradiction. It's on screen for my audience now. Can you see it in Skype, Brian? It's the one where the level line drops from the level.
Yeah, a level drops away from level.
Yeah, it's just so we're sorry to cut Brian. Just one sec, Brian. Just 1 sec. Just for my audience's benefit, I'll just point out where this level line is dropping away from the level, so you can detail it mathematically. We'd have to have a level to describe it deviating from, but it's called a level line in this violation of the law of non-contradiction that we've got up from a dickhead. So, in answer to the question, according to his citation, yeah, according to him, the definition of level having no part higher or lower than another isn't true. It's right here on his dickhead citation from 100 years ago. But he didn't want to answer you. So I'll answer on his behalf using his own dumbass citation that I went through with him. He rumpus me, rumpus chocolate over. The contradiction that he said doesn't apply here. It's on screen and glaring, and when he's asked about it by you, he wants to talk to Arwin about logic. Yeah. You can try and reach for that low-hanging fruit, but we're just going to beat the living shit out of you with your own stupid shithead citation. It's on screen for a live audience of 120 people, Omni. You're a dickhead. Your citation's wrong. It violates the law of non-contradiction. Do you understand, you stupid man? I'm going to assume that you don't understand, making you retarded, Omni. Are you retarded? You didn't answer me, even though we've taken an hour out of our day, literally an hour out of our day, to educate you on how wrong you are with level deviating and having parts lower than another. That's idiotic. Do you understand, Omni? We're educating you with good grace out of our time. You're not paying us for it either, are you? In fact, you're obstinate, rude, in the face of us educating how wrong you were. Why? Omni, we've corrected you stupid shit that was wrong, and you're not even answering me. That's incredibly rude. We've taken an hour, not because we didn't understand it immediately, because you were retarded and struggled with the shit that you got wrong. Now, at the very least, you can acknowledge us, Omni. We've had to educate you, dumbass, on this stuff. It's on screen now. Having low part higher or lower than another, you say, Brian. Not according to this retard's 100-year-old citation. What say you, retard? Omni, talking to you, mate.
Yep. Go ahead.
Let me ask him another question because he's lost that point badly.
I want.
There's no coming back from that on me. No surveyor in the world.
Just before we do, Brian, I will pass back to you. I'm so sorry. Can I take this level line that isn't level off screen now, Omni? This shit that we've dealt with, even though you didn't acknowledge it. I'll take it off screen now. I'll stop poisoning my audience with this batshit insane contradiction, shall I? Yeah, I'll take it off screen, shall I?
Probably good.
Yeah, it's probably for the best that we take your shit off screen. Yeah, it's probably for the best that you shut your dumb mouth now. We're done with this garbage that poisoned everybody. Probably best if you shut up now, Omni. Probably best we take it off screen, right, Omni? Probably best we take this shit off screen, right, Omni?
Understand what it means.
Probably best we take this shit off screen, right, Omni?
He's saying you don't understand what it means. No, we all understand what it means. It means that you're wrong and your citation is a contradiction. That's what it means.
And you know it is.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it even funnier.
So let me get it straight. Did he just insult me by telling me that I don't understand when I've taken an hour of my day to educate him in his incorrect assertion? What a wanker. What a wanker. Let me get it straight, Omni. Did you just tell me I don't understand the violation of the law? I'll put it back up on screen for my audience, Omni, so we can see this labelled as level line falling away from level. Axiomatically insane. Your stupid shit that we've just taken an hour out of our day to correct. Now, you, in response to that, have had the disingenuous scumbag nature to tell me that I don't understand. No, Omni, you were wrong, and when asked to concede that fact, you have the gall to tell me I don't understand. That makes you a wanker. Wanker, I'm talking to you. You're about to be removed permanently, Omni. It's at that point, like with Hyuka. You see how he's permanently on mute and never going to come off it? That's going to about to happen to you. We'll see if you take your last words with joy or what you do with them. But it will be your last words. We've now identified you as a wanker. You've just told me I don't understand, even though we've literally taken an hour of our day to correct the stupid shit you put before us. I do understand how wrong you are, Omni. No words, no last words before we perma-mute you for being a wanker, Omni?
I posted, so I sent Bushnell a picture of linear versus nonlinear, so you could get educated on what that means when you're talking about linear miles. You should definitely look at that. And you should also read that book that I posted so that you understand how those techniques were used to make the map. You asked for the map. I gave you the map. I know you didn't really want the map, but alas, I gave you what you asked for.
Is the map based off
I bid you adieu.
Omnivore, is the map connected to the universal transverse Mercator projections?
Yeah, left the chat.
Yeah, of course he did. Yeah, because he was about to ask him questions. Yeah, we'll show him where his map came from. And I wanted to ask him questions that would be otherwise. He was in a world of trouble.
These people are wankers. They're demonstrably shown to be wrong, and in the face of that, they either go silent or say you don't understand. Now, I absolutely understand what a wanker that man was.
He's retarded.
What
he like, hey, okay in here? Don't know why he's still here.
I kept the live stream open for an hour just to do that. And that's what we got as thanks, called idiots, basically. Piss down your back and tell you training.
He's retarded.
What he posted was a mathematical concept. That's what he posted.
Who cares? Get Hayuka up. You're next, buddy.
No. Shout out to Chuberticus, who's just donated $100 via the super chat with W @ //K3R. No idea what any of that means, but thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate the support.
It means keep the show going. That the people love this. It's got $100. Keep it going another hour. Plus, I got a
It might be
long drive.
related to some surveying data.
Yeah, Brian.
I'm just saying, it might be related to a surveying data, possibly. A cleaner
Is this
vehicle.
really?
Go on.
No, it says wanker.
But you know where he was at. As soon as he consistently would not speak up when you ask him a direct question or interrupt the direct question, and then when you're finally done, then ask you what the question was. Like, that's how you know these people. They always do that.
He started doing that yesterday. He's been doing that. He'll only respond to what he chooses to respond to.
Yeah, the lowest hanging fruit when available. Just wait long enough and some low hanging fruit will come on. Anyway, I'm going to round out the live show. With that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.